If you're new here, I'm Lindsay, and this is Radiant Over 60. And stick around because this is the kind of conversation your doctor doesn't have with you. I want to talk to the woman who is having major symptoms of menopause and has absolutely no idea what to do next. Your friends have opinions, your relatives have opinions, and you've probably done your own research. And now you have like 17 browser tabs open, and you're just more confused than you were when you started. You probably tried the over the counter creams and supplements, and they're just not doing it for you. They're just not enough. You're not functioning at your best, and you know it. The dream of sleeping through the night, waking up with real energy, and moving without pain, and just feeling like yourself again. Motivated, optimistic, alive. That dream is still alive and strong. And that tells me you are not ready to give up. And neither was I. So I want to tell you my story, real, open, and raw. I'm not a doctor, and nothing I share is medical advice, of course. So please talk to your own provider about what's right for you. But what I can tell you is exactly what happened to me. And then maybe in some way, hopefully, this helps you figure out your next step. So I was 56 when menopause really hit. And I want to give you some context because it matters. It was right around COVID, and I had just started dating someone incredible. He just happened to be 7 years younger than me. So, yes, I was highly motivated to not fall apart. The hot flashes were brutal. I'm not talking about feeling a little warm. I'm talking about getting up in the middle of the night, going to my bathtub that I had already filled with cold water, lying in it, cooling off, drying off, coming back to bed, and then waiting for the next one, like multiple times a night. My joints were starting to ache. My cardiovascular fitness was declining. I went on a hike with my great friend Rosa, and I was struggling to get up the hill. And that was a moment for me. And Rosa started telling me about her anti aging doctor and an HRT pellet she was getting every few months. So I felt some hope. And the only thing older women had ever told me was, I'm just going to say it, they say, just you wait. Your vag will dry up like a potato chip, and intercourse will feel like broken glass. Yikes. So I had three very good reasons to get help: not turning into potato chip with my younger boyfriend, not hitting the tub a few times a night, and getting out of serious pain. I refused to accept that as my future. Rosa told me about her doctor at a place called Well Aging Med, so I called. The wait time for a new appointment was in 6 months. Made the appointment, but I still was pesty and called like the office every single week for 6 months, seeing if they had cancellations. Every week, I didn't want to wait, but I had to for 6 long months. But then when I finally got in, it was nothing like a regular doctor's appointment. I had extensive blood work, super thorough to figure out exactly what my body needed. I also talked to my doctor about Hashimoto's disease. It's the low thyroid condition that can contribute to both pain and weight gain. And I was really excited to get started. So, the pellet itself, easiest thing ever. She numbs the area and makes a tiny incision, kind of like on your hip, butt side. She pops in a couple small pellets. I think one's testosterone and one is estrogen. And then they slowly release over 3 to 4 months. Had a little red spot for about a week on my side, and then it was gone. I also took progesterone, DHEA, and a handful of other supplements separately. Cost wise, it cost a lot. I want to be real with you because it's something you'll want to know. So, this was in Northern California, and at the time it was like $400 for the pellets, $200 for the doctor, $200 for blood work, and about $300 for supplements. So, roughly like $1,000 to start. And then there are costs of ongoing pellets and supplements. So, it's not cheap. But to me, it was so worth it to feel so much better. But I want you to decide what's worth it for you, and having the real numbers helps. Over the following weeks, the joint pain started getting better. The hot flashes became fewer and way less intense. I went back and told her I was still getting heated at night, and she adjusted my progesterone. So that's the part I loved. It wasn't like a one size fits all. My weight didn't really change. I want to be honest with you about that, but my energy came back, my hopefulness came back, my optimism came back, and I'm just going to say it. My vag was still completely on point and never got a chance to dry up. Thank you, Lord. So now I know some of you are thinking, wait, wasn't there studies that showed HRT, hormone replacement therapy, increases the risk of cancer? Well, I had that fear too. What I can tell you is I had a thorough conversation with my doctor. She was MD, and I talked about the latest research. We looked at my personal history, and she helped me make the right choice for my body. And that's all I can tell you. Find a doctor you trust and have that real conversation. I'm not here to argue studies. I'm just here to tell you what happened to me. I started at 57 and I'm still on HRT pellets now at 61. And what I know is that HRT after 60 is absolutely something I think women should be talking to their doctors about, because I can tell you firsthand, it's a game changer. That 6-month wait was absolute torture, but totally worth it in the end. So I've been on HRT pellets for a few years, and my weight was completely stable. I was eating clean, I was at the gym 4 or 5 days a week, and I was doing everything right. And then about 6 months ago, toward the end of my 60th year, the weight just started coming on out of nowhere. So I did what we all do. I ate less, I worked out harder, I tried some over-the-counter fat burner supplements, nothing, not a pound. All of my jeans ended up in a big old pile on the floor in my closet because I just couldn't fit into them anymore. I was ordering bigger sizes in my jeans with lots of stretch. I went from a size 28 waist to like a 30, 31. And I want to be honest about how that felt, because it just wasn't about the jeans. I felt crappy. I felt unmotivated. I was frustrated. Like I was almost the same weight I was when I was pregnant. And how does that even happen when you're working out like you did in your 20s and barely eating anything? At the time, I was also selling my house in California and moving to Nevada. So I just had to push through because I was super busy and just deal with it later. But once I was settled in my house and life calmed down, I was so ready to really focus on my weight gain because it was bringing me way down. I went to an endocrinologist because I was convinced, well, it has to be my Hashimoto's disease that's causing this. So I got all the tests done. Everything came back fine, which somehow was both a relief and frustrating, because if it's not my thyroid, then what? I thought about GLP-1 medications, but honestly, I'd been putting it off. It just seemed like kind of a last resort. I heard it was expensive. I heard about the side effects, and part of me felt like, is this really where I am? But after another month of frustration and getting nowhere, I decided to stop waiting and look into it seriously. I researched my options with a little, AI, and decided on Mounjaro. I read that it works in 2 different ways for weight loss after menopause and had a reputation for fewer side effects than some of the others. I found a provider online, and it has strong ratings, and so I went for it. And here's what's interesting about my situation, and this might be different from what you've heard about Mounjaro and menopause experiences. I wasn't someone who had out of control cravings. I just wasn't really eating enough as it was. I didn't need my appetite to be suppressed. I was just desperately hoping that some magical ingredient in the tirzepatide would help my body finally release these 15 pounds that had showed up uninvited and refused to leave. And I was worried. I wasn't even sure it would work, but I was out of options. So I started. And here's what happened. Just in my personal experience, not medical advice, but if you're a woman over 60 and wondering about tirzepatide, that's Mounjaro tirzepatide. For women over 60, stay with me, because what happened next was a game changer. So I started the tirzepatide and made a very deliberate decision. I did not read up on the side effects. I didn't want to plant seeds in my head. I didn't want to go looking for things to feel wrong. I just started taking it and paid attention to my own body. The first month, I was on kind of a low dose. I think it's 2.5 mgs per week. And what I noticed was simple. I just wasn't as hungry, not dramatically different, just kind of a quieter hunger. I was eating about the same as before, maybe even a tiny bit more, which honestly was the goal because I had been burning myself completely out trying to lose weight before I started. I was working out harder, eating less without results, and I was done with that. I wanted balance. I wanted to eat like a normal human being and still see results. So, after a few weeks, I lost about 3 pounds, gone. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but I was thrilled because I could not lose 3 pounds on my own for the life of me. 3 pounds felt like a miracle. The second month, the company upped my dose to 5 milligrams, and that was a really good month. I'd lost about 5 pounds. So in 2 months, I was down about 8 pounds total, eating a little more than I had been, not training as hard, and actually feeling good while doing it. I also made a decision about the scale. I only would weigh myself like every 2 to 3 weeks because I knew if I stepped on the scale every day or even every few days and it hadn't moved, I'd be disappointed. So every 2 weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks kept me feeling positive about it. And as for side effects, I cannot tell you I have any. Maybe I do, and I just don't know what they are, but I feel fabulous. The weight loss has been slow, but you know what? I made peace with that, and actually more than peace because I've embraced it. Because when it comes to menopause, weight loss and losing weight real fast at our age, it can show up in your face. Get kind of gaunt, and fillers are super expensive. So slow and steady is a-okay for me. And then one day I went to my closet and I picked up a pair of jeans off that big pile on the floor, and they fit. And I could not tell you what that moment felt like. I was so worried I would never get back to feeling like myself. And here I am back in my jeans, eating real food, not destroying myself at the gym, and the weight is actually moving. I just feel so much better, and I'm not done yet. So here's where I am today, 3 months in. I think I'm down like 11 pounds and only 4 pounds away from my goal. I want to tell you what that actually looks like in real life because it's not just about numbers on the scale. You know that young boyfriend I mentioned in the beginning? Well, he's still around, and we have a hot tub in our backyard, and it looks out over the snowy mountains. And then when I was just, at my heaviest a couple months ago, I had to go buy bigger bathing suits just to feel comfortable. And this month I pulled out my old bikini, put it on, and I felt good. I felt sexy like myself. It reminded me of something, that feeling, I don't know if you can relate, but you know that feeling after you've had a baby, because I had 3 babies in 4 years, and I felt like I was in maternity clothes forever. And then one day I finally fit back in my old jeans, that relief, that happiness, that feeling of coming back to yourself. That's what this has felt like, except this time I wasn't sure it was ever going to happen. I didn't know if tirzepatide would even work for someone like me, someone who's menopausal, has Hashimoto's, and is already on HRT. There just wasn't a lot out there about that, my specific combination, but I took the leap anyway, and I'm so glad I did. My daughter is getting married in 2 months on June 6th, and I went to the alterations lady last week to get my dress hemmed. And when I put it on, it looked amazing. It's gorgeous. It's long, straight, shimmery. I remember months ago at her engagement party, I wore, a different dress, and I was just bummed because I felt like my stomach was sticking out a lot, but not anymore. Cannot wait to be mother of the bride. So now my stomach is almost flat. I feel lighter at the gym. I have more energy, and I'm just generally happier. Really, before losing the weight, I felt like my clothes, even my bigger, stretchy jeans, they still felt tight all day. And it used to really bum me out. I went from dreading getting dressed to, enjoying it again. I can wear my cute clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time. I'm still on month 3, just moved up to 7.5 milligrams, and I'm almost there. I'm 4 pounds away from a goal I wasn't sure I'd ever reach. And I feel more radiant right now than I have in years. So I want to leave you with something that has guided every decision I've made about my health and honestly about my life. That one question is, will this help me feel my best? And when I was sitting across from my doctor talking about HRT pellets for the first time, I thought, will this help me feel my best? And yes. And then when I was researching Mounjaro tirzepatide after months of frustration, I asked myself, will this help me feel my best? Answer is yes. When I'm deciding whether to sign up for a new workout class, try a new supplement or peptides, or invest in my health in any way, I ask myself, will this help me feel my best? And that's the question. And here's what I know from the other side of those decisions. I have no regrets, not one. Before HRT, I was in real pain. I had joint pain. My lower back was killing me, and it was affecting every part of my life. But that pain is completely gone now, gone. And I haven't even mentioned the hot flashes, the sleep interruptions, the dry skin. All of it went away. Yeah, the cost is a lot. It's significant. Won't pretend it isn't. But this is the foundation of my life. You cannot put a price tag on waking up every morning feeling good in your body. And that's what my mornings are like now. I have my coffee in bed and watch the sunrise over the mountains. And then I'll just pop off to the gym or Pilates or CrossFit or something just because I want to, not because I'm desperately trying to, burn calories and burn something off. I have energy and I feel great. Moving my body feels like a gift instead of just punishment. I have my wedding started in June. I have a trip to Santorini in August, Santorini, Greece, with my boyfriend. We have a private pool outside our bungalow, which is built right into the cave on the side of the mountain. It looks over the most beautiful water in the world. And I'm going to show up to both of those moments feeling radiant. Not perfect, but radiant. And to me, that word means exactly what the dictionary says. Very happy, very beautiful, and producing light. And that's what I'm going for. That's what this whole channel is about. Feeling happy, optimistic, grateful, and physically feeling optimal. At 61, this is available to you. I want to tell you why this matters so much to me, just beyond feeling good myself. I have 3 daughters, and I think about the example I am setting for them every day. My mom wasn't a good role model for aging well, and I don't say that to be mean. It's just the truth. I grew up watching women in their 60s and 70s shrink, dial down their lives, trade in their dreams for big old flowery housecoat dresses and smaller expectation. And that's the opposite of what I want my daughters to see. I want them to see romance and purpose and happiness and great friends and hobbies that light you up and physical health that lets you actually show up for all of it. I want them to know that getting older doesn't have to be such a big downer, that their mom at 61 is not fading out. She's fully engaged and enjoying life. And that's actually why I became a certified personal trainer and life coach after my divorce. I wanted every tool, every skill, every piece of knowledge I could get my hands on to help myself and then to help other women do the same. And that's what this channel is. That's what I'm here for. If you want to go a little deeper, I have a free quiz. It's in my stand store attached to YouTube. It's called Radiant Over 60. It's a confidence and joy quiz. It's just 10 minutes, completely free, and it shows you exactly in your life where you could use a boost, whether that's your health, maybe relationships, your purpose, maybe up your happiness. The link is in the description. And if you want to sit down with me, like one-on-one, have a phone call, I offer 30-minute clarity coaching sessions, and that's on there for 45. Sometimes you just need a real conversation to figure out your next step. I'd love to be that for you. If this video meant something to you, please subscribe. I am going to keep showing up here, hopefully every week with real conversations, real stories, no filter. This community is just getting started and I want you in it. I'd love for you to leave me a comment, tell me where you are in your journey. Are you considering HRT? Are you curious about weight loss, Mounjaro, tirzepatide? Are you somewhere in the middle trying to figure everything out? So I'll see you next time. And remember, life after 60 can be good, but you have to choose it.